But first, I want to get right to this breaking news that we just have crossing right now. The Department of Justice has filed a motion to compel Apple to comply with a judge's order to assist the FBI in unlocking the San Bernardino terrorist iPhone. Apple says it would be too costly and too difficult for the company to create software to unlock this phone. Apple also worries it would set a precedent for law enforcement so that they would constantly be asking them to unlock other phones. Is it really that difficult to unlock the iPhone as Apple suggests it is? Is it really that costly? Well, not according to John McAfee, founder of the antivirus company and tech expert. He joins me right now from Memphis, Tennessee. John says he can easily unlock the iPhone in 3 weeks' time, and if not, he is willing to eat his shoe live on television. John, thanks for joining.
You're very welcome.
All right.
I'd like to explain something. I think that there's a misunderstanding here about what the FBI actually wants. The FBI doesn't just want Apple to unlock that phone. The FBI wants Apple to change its iOS, the operating system, so that it creates a backdoor to all encryption.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I'll tell you one thing, John, I don't have a problem with that. Do you?
I have a serious problem with that. And here's why. Because if you put a backdoor into any encryption software, we are human beings. Even if only one person in the FBI has that backdoor, I promise you, soon 100 people will have it, and soon it will be outside of the FBI.
But let me ask you this, John. Hear me out for a second. Yes. I mean, think about it. You know, if the FBI has reason to suspect you might be a terrorist or you might have committed some kind of crime, they can go to Verizon, they can go to AT&T, and they can get your phone records. Right now, they can't get your texts that were delivered via the Apple mechanism because it's encrypted. Shouldn't they be able to do exactly what they're able to do with everyone else?
Well, here's the issue. Absolutely. But why don't they just crack that one phone? That's the phone that they want. They're asking Apple to give them the ability to crack every
because they do it with everything else
in existence.
Right? I mean, that already exists. I mean, if anybody has any other kind of phone, or you can get their text, so why shouldn't the government be able to get it on Apple just as easily as it can get it anywhere else? For the sake of our nation, for the sake of our security.
There has never been a backdoor that's been kept secret. It always falls into the hands of hackers and our enemies.
So you're telling me
the Chinese will have the backdoor.
That Apple cannot keep its stuff safe, basically. It cannot keep anything safe. Therefore, it shouldn't be safe even right now.
No, it's not that they can't keep it safe. The Chinese can get a copy of the new iOS, disassemble it, and
I don't believe this. I think you guys are all really worrying too much about the privacy aspect of it, and what if? I mean, what if 3,000 more people die in the city of New York because Apple did not provide law enforcement with the needed information that they need in order to prevent terror attacks? You got something bigger going on.
But wait a minute. There has never been a backdoor that has not been found out by our enemies. Never. Why? Because it's there in the software. You can find it and use it.
So let me just give you an analogy. All right, right now, if you have too much to drink and you go out and drive, they can test your alcohol levels in your body.
Yes.
If you kill someone as a drunk driver, they can point to the alcohol levels in your body. If Budweiser said, hey, guess what? We're going to come up with a new kind of beer, and we're not going to, law enforcement's never going to know how much alcohol is actually in your body. And then you go out and kill someone, law enforcement says, gosh, you know, we'd love to prosecute this drunk driver, but we don't know if they were drunk because we don't even know if there was any alcohol in their body. I mean, you're talking about a company creating something that is effectively beyond the law, and that's wrong.
It's not beyond the law. Isn't encryption the same thing as whispering? I have the right to whisper to my wife. It is a private communication. If we are across town and I want to whisper to my wife, the only thing I have is encryption.
See,
but you're still missing the point.
No, I like this, what you're going down, because you know what? Our Constitution was written many, many years ago. We are living in a different time than 1776, John. I mean, back then, people actually had to take a ship over to our country to actually try and shoot at us. Today, these terrorists are living amongst us, and we need to have a way to track them.
Well, why not? Why not? If you've got a telephone, why don't you take that one phone and crack that one phone? That's what I'm offering to do. I'm saying, give me the phone, I'll crack it. iOS does
They're not even willing to do that.
Compromise. Pardon?
Apple's not even willing to do that. And you know what? The bigger issue here is the government
Apple doesn't have the phone. The phone is in the possession of the FBI and the San Bernardino police. It's not Apple's issue. It's the FBI. If they want help cracking it,
So,
we'll
John,
crack
you
it.
think it's perfectly fine for Apple to create something that would be entirely beyond the law?
Why is it beyond the law? To encrypt something, to make communication between human beings private?
That privacy does not exist in our society anywhere else, John. I mean, think about it. Any member of law enforcement can go and get an order, and then they can go into your home. If you're suspected of a crime, they can steal your diaries, they can steal your computer, they can steal, I mean, forgive me, not steal, take all of this information, right, that you have, private information. That's available for law enforcement to do right now. What you're talking about is creating a privacy expectation that it just doesn't exist in society right now.
If it does not, that may not. And let's assume you're absolutely correct. Nevertheless, putting a backdoor in encryption will allow every country in the world to get access to our innermost secrets. Is this what you want?
I think you guys are, you're missing the forest for the trees on this one. John, thank you very much.
Why?
Good to see you.
I mean, I've been in this business my entire life. I can promise you, and you
John, why is it so important to protect the privacy of terrorists and murderers, which is what you are doing?
I'm not saying it is important to protect their privacy, but I'm saying it's far more important to protect our nation from our enemies.
Well, you know, you just said you could hack into any phone right now, so that's what exists already out there, right?
Yeah, but it's one thing to grab the phone and to hack into it, which takes weeks. It's another to have a key that says I can crack any phone in the world in 30 seconds. There's a big difference. A huge difference. Right. We are making ourselves vulnerable to our enemies on the verge.
I am out of time, but this is a very important discussion. Now we got to pay some bills. We got commercial breaks we got to take, but it's an important discussion, and it's one that's going to continue online. I want to tell everybody, go to Facebook, go to my Facebook page, like it if you agree with what I'm saying, that the FBI effectively needs to force Apple to do this, and Apple needs to start playing ball. We want to hear from you, so the conversation continues there. You heard John's side of the story. That's what the tech companies are saying. My feeling is we need to keep our country safe.